A few days before we were scheduled to move into our new house, I was scrolling through a forum when a specific thread caught my eye. Title: Daughter's birthday is October 10th. Son's is December 31st. Is it weird to set the door code as a combo of both? Context: my wife isn't a huge fan of our daughter, so I need a plausible reason to include the girl's birthday to avoid suspicion. The comment section was tearing him apart. Your wife is a woman herself, and she dislikes her own daughter? Sounds like a piece of work. Thank God there are dads like you. Otherwise, I can't imagine how that poor girl would survive. Here's the play. Since the little girl's birthday is October 10th, the numbers repeat. Just set the code to 123110. Tell her the 10 is to celebrate the upcoming Columbus Day or just October perfection. If she refuses that, she's just being unreasonable. Great idea. See if she dares to say no. If she shoots that down, she's heartless. While I didn't agree with the sexism in the post, the hive mind of the internet always gave me the creeps. I was just glad we only had one daughter, and my husband, Caleb, absolutely spoiled her. Just as I was about to swipe away, a notification from Caleb popped up on my screen. Honey, how about we set the smart lock on the new place to 123,110? The 10 at the end is for Lily's birthday month, and we can use 12/31 for New Year's Eve, symbolizing a fresh start for our new home. It's a double celebration. When I saw that message, I froze. 1 second, I was reading internet drama. The next, the drama had crashed into my living room. My thumb hovered over the screen, paralyzed. I don't believe in coincidences this specific. Same timeline for moving houses. Same weird specific birthday combination. Same convoluted excuse. When coincidences stack up like this, they aren't accidents. They're patterns. But we didn't have a son. I only had my precious daughter, Lily, born last year. And I love her more than anything. I thought for a moment, then opened Caleb's chat and typed, why not use my birthday? My birthday is August 8th, 0808. Simple. The chat bubble showed him typing, then stopping, then typing again for a long time. Finally, a response came. If you put it that way, why not use mine? The lock only takes 6 digits, Jordan. We can't fit everyone. When Lily grows up and asks why the password is only her mom's birthday, what am I supposed to tell her? I stared at the words, a dry laugh escaping my throat. Now I knew something was wrong. He had never argued with me over something this trivial before. Strictly speaking, he had married up. I handled all the major expenses. He had always been the dutiful, gentle, family-oriented husband. Moreover, this house was bought and paid for by my mother in full. When Lily was born last year, my mom was worried our old apartment was too cramped, and she was equally worried about my in-laws nitpicking me. She always said Lily was a blessing, but she knew that in some traditional circles, like Caleb's family, people still gossiped about not having a son. She didn't want me to suffer any indignity. So without a second thought, she bought this luxury condo in cash. She did it to give me leverage, to give me a backbone. The deed to this house had one name on it, Jordan Banks. Seeing that I hadn't replied, he sent another barrage of texts. Jordan, for years haven't I listened to you on everything big and small. I respect all your decisions. But now, I can't even decide a simple door code. Don't you think you're being a little too controlling? Caleb didn't come home that night. Just before I went to bed, he texted a flimsy excuse about working late at the office. I tossed my phone onto the sofa, not bothering to reply. In all the years we'd been together, I could count the number of times he'd thrown a tantrum on one hand. He was an educated man. He knew you couldn't have your cake and eat it too. If he wanted the benefits of my financial support, he had to accept the drawback of my leadership. But I didn't think I treated him badly. I made the big decisions, sure, but when had I ever embarrassed him? When we graduated, I was the one who packed up and moved to his chosen city. I paid the down payment on our first place, and we split the mortgage. I never held that over his head. I, Jordan Banks, didn't lack money. I could thrive anywhere. I used to think Caleb just lacked a bit of luck compared to me. If he was willing to yield to me in private, I was willing to give him face in public. In the past, if he gave me the silent treatment, I'd coax him out of it. Men and their fragile egos. But his message yesterday felt different. It felt like resentment that had been simmering for a long time. If that was the case, I wasn't going to beg him to come back. I went to the guest room, gave the night nurse a few instructions for Lily, turned off the lights, and slept like a baby. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the sheer curtains. I opened my eyes and instinctively grabbed my phone. That forum thread had been updated. I tapped it open and almost laughed out loud. I suggested the code to my wife yesterday, just like you guys said, but she refused. She'd rather use her own birthday than include the kids. I've been working my ass off for this family, doing everything at home, and this is the thanks I get. Slept at the office last night. Didn't cook, didn't do dishes, didn't do laundry. Let's see how messy the house gets without me. Reading this, I was 100% certain the poster was Caleb. The comments section was an echo chamber of misogyny. You're too nice, bro. Honestly, trade her in for a newer model. Dude, you're rich and considerate. What do you even see in her? I stared at the word rich and my eye twitched. Caleb was playing the role perfectly in the replies, saying he was worried about me because we'd been together so long, claiming that without him, I wouldn't even know how to withdraw money from the bank. That really opened my eyes. I wouldn't know how to withdraw money. Before I even graduated college, I used my scholarship money in returns for my first investment to buy us both top-of-the-line laptops. When he was being bullied by his manager at his old job, I researched dozens of companies and headhunted a position for him that was a perfect fit. And now he was worried I couldn't use an ATM? The comments were full of helpful advice. Your wife is useless without you. Just change the password anyway, man. She won't know how to change it back. The house is marital property. Why does she get the final say? If she doesn't agree, lock her out until she does. Women need to be taken down a peg sometimes. I looked at the screen, expressionless. With a flick of my finger, I closed the toxic app. I sat at my desk all morning. The monitor hummed, spreadsheets and numbers dancing before my eyes, but I absorbed none of it. I replayed the last few years in my head. First, I questioned myself. Had I done something wrong? But I reached the conclusion quickly. I wasn't the problem. Caleb was. If I made a mistake, it was choosing him. I respected him. I loved him. At home, he took care of the daily grind. Outside, I protected his pride. He knew logically he shouldn't bite the hand that fed him, but he lacked the moral compass to care. He wasn't just unlucky. He was fundamentally broken. Once I realized that, the suffocating anger in my chest vanished. But a new question arose. Caleb's phone passcode, computer login, bank PIN, they were always permutations of the same few numbers. He claimed he had a bad memory and was too lazy to change them, saying it made it easier for me to check on him anyway. Lily was born last year. He was ecstatic, kissing her tiny face over and over. Yet his lifestyle, his schedule, his habits, nothing changed. But now he needed a new password. It sounded crazy, but I had to guess. Maybe there was another kid out there with a birthday coming up. That kid's mother probably wanted a guarantee. A ritual. A new password for their sanctuary, involving their numbers. Caleb, usually so dull and predictable, had really swung for the fences this time. I picked up my desk phone and dialed my boss. Hey, I need to take some personal time. Family emergency. He approved it immediately. On my way out, I called my coworker, Piper. Hey, Jordan, what's up? Aren't you at work? Piper's cheerful voice chirped. I made my voice sound light, breezy. Piper, that smart scale you helped me order? I actually want one for myself now. Oh, awesome. My friend recommended it. Said the features are insane. I looked at the package in my hand. Actually, can I have the one that just arrived for you? You know, I'm moving into the new place, and I realized I totally forgot to buy a scale. I'll buy you a new one. The premium bundle you said was too expensive. Consider it interest for letting me hijack this one. OMG, Jordan. Stop. Take it. It's just a scale. But if you're getting me the bundle, I won't say no. Done. Don't worry about the money. I hung up and drove to the new condo with the brand new smart scale. I placed it in the master bedroom, right in front of the full-length mirror, a spot where anyone changing clothes would be compelled to step on it. I crouched down, took out my phone, registered a new administrator account, and connected the Bluetooth. My fingers were steady, scary steady, considering I never thought Caleb was the cheating type. After setting the trap, I stood up and looked around the new home I had been so excited about. Now, I was just waiting for the kid who was actually born on December 31st to come visit. That evening, when Caleb came home, I was curled up on the sofa. He changed his shoes, saw me sitting motionless, and sighed. His footsteps approached and stopped in front of me. The sofa dipped as he sat down, his arm draping over my shoulder. Still mad? His breath tickled my ear. The other day, I was too emotional. Don't take it to heart. I didn't move, my eyes fixed on a muted TV screen. Okay, I nodded. I also think you were too emotional. I turned my head to look him dead in the eye. Since you agree, apologize to me. Caleb's arms stiffened around me. He clearly hadn't expected me to ignore the olive branch and demand penitence. His face cycled through several colors, red, then pale. Finally, he compromised, rubbing my shoulder awkwardly. I am sorry. I've just been in a bad mood lately. I was hoping you could just go along with me for once. More excuses. I didn't let him slide. I stared into his eyes. Why the bad mood? Caleb froze again. He opened his mouth, struggled, and finally squeezed out, work stuff? It's annoying. I almost laughed. Work? Your current job is one I handpicked for you, I said calmly. The workload is perfectly balanced with the salary, and the owner is a friend of my mother. Who exactly would be giving you a hard time? I didn't give him a chance to pivot. I know you hand over your paycheck, but the alimony and support payments we send to your parents every month take up half of what you earn. On the old house, we split the mortgage, leaving you with basically zero disposable income. All the daily expenses for this family of three? That's all me. I spoke slowly, enunciating every word. I needed him to understand that he couldn't play the victim here. Tell me, what are you unhappy about? Is it because you have to do chores after work? Or is it because you want to change the password on the new house for some nonsense reason, and you won't tell me the truth? Through the first part, Caleb just looked weary. But when I dropped the last sentence, his mask cracked. He violently shoved my shoulder away, his voice rising to a shout. What truth? There is no secret truth. I just felt a new house deserves a fresh start. I told you why I chose the numbers. You don't believe me, and now you're accusing me of, what? Being shady? Jordan, are you sick in the head? There it was. Men are predictable. If they don't care about something, you can nag them all day, and they'll tune you out. But poke a real wound, and they explode. His defensive rage was all the confirmation I needed. The front door slammed so hard the walls shook. Caleb had stormed out again. I wondered if he was leaving because he felt righteous anger, or because he knew deep down this house belonged to me, and he was fleeing the scene of his crime. A moment later, my phone buzzed. It was Tommy, Caleb's childhood best friend. He owned a furniture store nearby and was a genuinely good guy. Most of the furniture in the new place came from his shop. I picked up. Before I could speak, Tommy's panicked voice filled the room. Jordan, what's going on with you and Caleb? I know couples fight, but don't kick him out. He showed up at my shop in the middle of the night, demanding I load up the last batch of furniture and deliver it to your new place right now. I listened, but my mind was elsewhere. He was in such a rush to furnish the place. He couldn't wait to host his guests. And by using our fight as cover, he could play the long-suffering husband to his friends, the guy doing the heavy lifting while his wife was being unreasonable. Predictable. Tommy paused, then went into mediation mode. Jordan, listen, guys like Caleb are rare. He's not out drinking. He's angry, but he's going to work on the house. You guys have Lily. Whatever it is, talk it out. I waited a beat, pretending to absorb his wisdom. Then I softened my voice, adding a touch of regret. Thanks, Tommy. You're right. I was too impulsive. I shouldn't have yelled at him. I didn't realize he was going to fix up the house, even while he was mad. I sounded appropriately guilty. Then I pivoted. Hey, Tommy, remember that electronic robot dog you got for your girlfriend? Fiona? The one with the camera that patrols the house. Yeah, can I borrow it for a few days? I asked earnestly. I want to use it to apologize to Caleb. Like a surprise gift. Tommy lit up. Of course. I'll dig it out right now. Great. Can you do me a huge favor? Sneak the robot dog in with the furniture delivery? Don't tell him. I want it to be a surprise. Consider it done, Jordan. You guys are perfect for each other. Seriously, fighting 1 minute, making up the next. When Lily turns 1, we're definitely coming to the party. I hung up and tossed the phone aside. That night, Tommy sent me the login credentials for the robot dog. Log in and you're good to go. You could drive it around and see everything. I replied, thanks. Then I turned off my phone. The trap was set. Now I just had to wait for the rats to come out. For the next few days, Caleb slept at the new condo. He didn't text me once. He was really committing to the bit. Our friend group was blowing up. Everyone knew Caleb the St. Hayes was sleeping on the floor of an empty condo, working like a dog because his wife kicked him out. A line of peacemakers called me. Jordan, cut him some slack. He's a good guy. He's probably sorry. I put them on speaker while I did my nails, giving non-committal and yeah, no answers. I'll go apologize once I finish this project at work, I lied. Friday evening rolled around. I wondered what Caleb was doing. Was he breaking? Did he feel any guilt? My phone buzzed. A notification from the Smart Scale app. I opened it. A digital gauge appeared on screen. The needle settled. 165. For LBS. Caleb. Then, the numbers flickered and changed. 108. 2 LBS. Unless Caleb lost a leg, that wasn't him. Before I could even curse, another notification popped up. 22. 5 LBS. A toddler. Looks like the whole family was reunited. Caleb's job was easy. He was usually off by 4 or 5 p.m. I checked my watch. 6 p.m. He'd been there for a while. I usually worked until 8 or 9. This time gap was the perfect window to catch him off guard. I took a deep breath, suppressed the rage boiling in my gut, and tapped Piper on the shoulder. Piper, emergency. She jumped, hiding her phone. What's up, Jordan? I forced a smile. That Smart Scale of the new house is acting up. It's sending weird readings, and I haven't even been there. You're the tech guru. Come check it out with me. Piper puffed out her chest. On it. I'm the gadget queen. One down. I dialed Tommy. Tommy? Remember that robot dog? I can't get to work. The manual is in alien hieroglyphics. I sounded helpless. Can you meet me at the new place? If you can't fix it, I'll just apologize to Caleb in person. Having a friend there will give me some courage. I'll pay for dinner for you and Fiona as an apology for dragging you out. Tommy agreed instantly. Say less. Fiona and I are on our way. I flashed an okay sign to Piper. She winked. Jordan, you look like you're going on a raid or something. I grabbed my bag. Maybe I am. We met Tommy and Fiona at the complex entrance. We marched up to the unit, a squad of 4. At the door, I stared at the brand new smart lock. He had changed it from the contractor key lock. I feigned distress, pushing on the handle. He changed the lock. I don't know the code. Piper frowned. Seriously? Changing the locks on your wife? Tommy looked uncomfortable. Just call him Jordan. I shook my head, handed my phone to Tommy. No, it's too awkward. Hey, try the robot dog app again? Maybe I was using it wrong. If we can get it to bark, maybe he'll open the door. Tommy's eyes lit up at the chance to play tech support. You got it. He took my phone, unlocked it, opened the app, and started tapping. Piper and Fiona crowded around to watch. The hallway lights flickered. I leaned against the cold wall, watching Tommy. I watched the excitement drain from his face. A few seconds later, Tommy looked like he'd seen a ghost. His hands shook, and he instinctively slammed the phone against his chest to hide the screen. I stepped forward. What is it? He stammered, pale and sweating. Nothing. Jordan. It's, Fiona, never one for patience, snatched the phone from his trembling hands. What are you acting weird for? Let me see. She looked at the screen. Her jaw dropped. Her eyes went wide. Holy SHD. She didn't hide it. She turned the screen directly toward me. Jordan, look. On the screen, the living room was bathed in warm light. A table was set with candles and colorful plates. Caleb was leaning over, feeding a woman a piece of cake. She was laughing, looking at him with pure adoration. In the background, a little boy sat on the expensive leather sofa, my sofa, playing on a tablet, completely at home. It was a picture-perfect family of 3. What the hell? Piper hissed, stomping her foot. So the scale readings. It was these 2 freaks? Cheating in your house and using your stuff? The audacity. I stood there silent. Most women, when they see a scale, can't resist stepping on it. It's a trick my mom taught me. Works every time. Jordan. Fiona touched my arm gently. Are you okay? I exhaled slowly. I'm Fine. I was just thinking about the password. I looked at them. I forgot to tell you guys. Caleb and I fought because he wanted the code to be 123110. He said 1231 was for New Year's Eve, and 10 was for Lily's birth month. I thought it was a stupid reason. I walked to the keypad. I punched in the numbers. 1-2-3-1-1-0. Beep. Click. The lock disengaged. I never checked up on him before. Not because I was naive, but because Caleb was boring. He accounted for every minute of his day. He'd hand me his unlocked phone and say, look, no secrets. Who suspects the man who volunteers his GPS history? So he probably never imagined I'd be standing here. Tonight, on the night he was celebrating the birthday of his secret son, the door swung open. The 4 of us stared at the 3 of them. The silence in the living room was heavy enough to crush bone. Caleb's expression was a masterpiece. Shock, panic. Then, as he saw Tommy and Fiona behind me, absolute devastation. He took a deep breath, then another. He walked toward me, forcing a grotesque, stiff smile. Jordan, what are you doing here? I crossed my arms, tilted my head. Why wouldn't I be here? This is my house. My mother bought it. My name is on the deed. Am I not allowed in? With every sentence, Caleb turned a shade paler. Behind me, Fiona and Tommy were gaping. To them, Caleb was the provider of the rock. The illusion was shattering in real time. Caleb snapped. We're in a fight. I just saw the house was empty and a friend's kid had a birthday, so I invited them over. Why are you making a scene? The woman on the sofa stood up. She picked up the boy and glared at me. Sister-in-law, you're really controlling, aren't you? I'm a married woman. The kid is right here. What could we possibly be doing? We're just friends having a party. Do you have to stalk him? Wow. Gaslighting 101. I pointed to the corner of the room, where the small robot dog sat silently. That thing has been on for days, I said lazily. It records everything. The stuff you want people to see, and the stuff you definitely don't. I watched a preview on the drive over. Rated R. Wanting to airplay it to the TV right now. The woman went ghost white. Tommy started to say, but you said it was broken, before Fiona elbowed him hard in the ribs. Caleb dropped the act. He knew it was over. He pointed a shaking finger at my face and screamed, "Jordan, this is why. You're always like this. So high and mighty, looking down on everyone. Who do you think you are? Who will want to live with you?" Veins bulged in his neck. "And another thing, you said you were done after Lily. You wouldn't give me a son. I'm the only male heir in my family. If you only give me a daughter, what happens to my line? My parents? You never considered my needs." He was screaming, painting himself as the victim of my tyranny. I watched him tantrum. When he ran out of breath, I spoke. "Your job, this house, our life. I compromised on everything for you, and now you're screaming that I didn't consider you. If you were so miserable, you shouldn't have pretended to be happy while spending my money." I stepped closer. "You're eating from the bowl and spitting in the cook's face. Caleb, I knew you were weak, but I didn't know you were trash." The rest was procedural. I called the cops immediately. "Yes, 911. There are intruders in my home." When the police arrived, it was humiliating for him. Neighbors watched as he was escorted out. I filed for divorce the same day. My lawyer pulled his bank statements. Every cent he had siphoned off to his mistress over the years, a staggering amount, was tracked down. We sued for the return of marital assets. The community was shocked. "Caleb? The nice guy? No way." "Yep, the nice guy who had a son 2 months older than our daughter." In the end, Caleb left with nothing. He actually owed me money. The mistress and her heir showed their true colors immediately. When they realized he was broke and in debt to me, they turned on him, screaming that they had no money to pay me back and that he'd better keep supporting them. Months later, Caleb came to find me. He looked 10 years older. "Jordan," his voice was raspy. Can I see Lily?" I laughed in his face. "See Lily? Did you forget what you screamed in my living room? That she wasn't enough? That you needed a son? Now you want to play the loving father? You missed your calling as an actor." I shook my head. "My daughter doesn't need a father like you. You're stuck with your son and his mother. You deserve each other." I sold the condo and prepared to move back to my hometown with Lily. The day before I left Seattle, the real estate agent called. "Ms. Banks, the cleaners found a cake in the fridge. It says, 'Happy birthday, December 31st, but the date on the box is October.' They threw it out, but one of the cleaners. Well, her kid's birthday was actually that day, so she took it home. She feels bad and wants to pay you for it." I paused. "No," I said softly. "Tell her to keep it. It was going in the trash anyway. Tell her, happy birthday to her kid for me." I hung up and looked out at the rain. The world is full of coincidences. At least that one was a happy one. Story complete.